Scan. Now, if you're not Aussie, you probably won't know what that means, but it means, how are you going, good sir? And basically today, we're in the west side of Sanur once again. I've been focusing on the west side of Sanur a lot lately, and other places like Denpasar and some of the more, well, I guess off the beaten track places, but I don't sort of see them myself as off the beaten track. I sort of more see them as an alternative to if you're a little bit bored with, you know, the same old, same old. And that's not to say that I don't like the coffee shops, for example, in central Sanur. I love it. Love the beachfront path. I'm all over it every morning. Buggy, I'm all over it. And but I also really love this other side of Bali, the other side of Indonesia really, which is what I'm really more familiar with, the other side of Indonesia, which we don't really focus on too much. It doesn't get a lot of focus on videos, honestly. And that's why I'm over on the west side again, talking about what life is like over here. Now, I'm coming past the Pandai Putri supermarket, and you will have noticed that I focus on that Pandai Putri supermarket quite a lot. And the main reason I do that is because I see it's a really good landmark for you to get your bearings on where you are over here on the west. So if I start from here, you can sort of get a feel for where you are. The map here will sort of give you a feel for where you are. And from there, a lot of things are accessible here on the west side of the bypass in Sanur. It's 8 a.m. and I'm hoping I haven't come out too late to get a nasi kuning, which is what I'm sort of checking out this morning. I want to get one of those nasi kunings. I found a place last time I was walking out here in the west side that you might have seen. It was only 5,000. I'd love to get something like that. Oh, look at that. All those little wrapped chilies and shallots, lots of cool veggies. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting a nasi kuning, 5,000. I mean, what can you expect or hope for 5,000? Well, I'm hoping I get something like okay, a bit of rice at least. Nasi kuning is a classic Indonesian breakfast. So all around Indonesia, you'll see a classic cheap Indonesian breakfast. All around Indonesia, you'll see people going out in the morning to get a nasi kuning. And the good thing about nasi kuning is that there are different ways you can have it. So it's yellow rice. That's literally what nasi kuning means. But also you have little dishes accompanying it, like the lauk. And the lauk is what really gives each nasi kuning a little bit of variation, so it's different everywhere you go. I know the one down here had a few noodles on there, so you got carbs on carbs, which is a classic Indonesian thing. But you know, often they'll have peanuts in there. If you're lucky, you'll get some egg and some shredded chicken. I can't imagine getting chicken in there for 5,000, but we'll see anyway. An update on the weather. It has been so hot recently. I don't know if it's hot or humid or both, but I've really noticed when I go out and about that I'm sweating like I've never sweated before in my whole life, and I really do mean that. I've been weighing myself before and after I've been going out to see how much I've sweated. I'm exercising in the heat as well, so that gives it a little bit more context. But I'm often losing 2 kilograms of weight between when I go out and come back. So you can see I'm losing 2 litres of water, and I actually drink water while I'm out. So it's not great. It is just absolutely horrifically hot right now. I've heard that the official weather agency in Indonesia has said that there's some meteorological phenomenon going on at the moment, which is making the whole of Indonesia hot, not just Bali. I don't really understand too much about that, something about the position of the sun and all that. So it is just really hot. It feels hotter than the hot season, honestly. Look at that, house for sale. That's the first one we're seeing today. Land house at Gang Biu. LT. That's LT stands for luas tanah. It means the size of the land. Yeah, and sometimes you'll have the size of the house listed there as well. But because this looks like it's a house that you probably would knock down anyway, you're probably going to buy that for land only. And it looks like it's, well, they're not telling you what sort of certificate they're offering. It's either freehold or leasehold. Usually what will happen is that if you are a foreigner and you can't buy a freehold property and they're selling it freehold, they'll often give it to you as a leasehold anyway and just charge you the same price as the freehold. You know what I mean? Like, for them, that's a benefit. But you know, that's possible for that to be the case there. They're selling it freehold, and you know, you can buy it leasehold if you want. That's often what will happen. But that'll be pretty expensive, that block of land there, I reckon. 350 square metres is a fair size block of land here in Sanur these days. You generally don't get it that big. You almost never get a block that big now. People don't really have yards anymore. I would imagine if you wanted to buy that block of land, I'm just guessing, but it'll be in the region of, I don't know, 4.5 billion rupiah just for the land, I would say. You'd have to negotiate, might be up and down from there depending on other aspects of the land. Like sometimes if you have a block of land which is highly sought after because of commercial value, like it's on the main road, you'll pay more. Look at this cool old Mercedes out the front of May Malu. I came here last time. I'm just going to go and get another coffee here at Mai Malu because I enjoyed it last time. I've actually stayed at a place called Mai Malu and eaten at a cafe called Mai Malu out in Medewi in the west of Bali. A long time ago. That would have been over 15 years ago as well. Probably maybe 14 years ago that I went there. But that gives me sort of reason to think that May Malu means something, because you can't just guess a name and then someone else guess the same name in Sanur. So I asked the guy, what does it mean? And he says, Kesini dulu. Basically, come here first, which is pretty cool. That's a pretty cool name, isn't it? Come here first. If you didn't see my last video about May Malu, or featuring May Malu, that's what the outlook is on the side of the road there. There, west side. No air conditioning, this is old school. We've got the big fan blowing, and you just sit here, watch the world go by. It's actually not that hot because that fan is a big fan just cranking the breeze in here. And the roof is one of these old alang roofs, so it doesn't really trap the heat as much as a tiled roof. So it's really nice, just a nice place to come and sit down for a coffee, to be honest. So let's say, for example, you're cycling from the centre of Sanur and you want to come out this way. This is an easy stop. You know, you'd come across that Jalan Tirtanadi straight up there and stop here for a coffee or a cold drink. They've got cold drinks here as well, before continuing on to some other place. Because this is pretty close to the rice fields, the last rice fields in Sanur as well. So you could probably stop in here and then cycle onto the rice fields. And if you haven't seen my videos on the rice field, it's called Prapat Bris. Got to go there. Unreal place. Really love that place. It's just nice, just a nice place just to have a quiet coffee. Prices are pretty good too, like 30,240 I think it costs for the cappuccino there, but that's after all the tax and everything's included. So I really love it. Just going to see if this nasi kuning place is still open. It's a real early thing, you know. Indonesians get up at the crack of dawn to go and do their business for the day, like going to the markets and buying brekkie and all that. And I'm a little bit late, but we'll see. A lot of people have commented that, you know, I've got good Indonesian and that sort of stuff, and it's okay. Like, I'm not 100% fluent. I'm pretty good. I can have conversations with anyone about most topics. If it gets a little bit complicated, I can hedge around a topic as well. But it's not actually that unusual for foreigners to have fairly good Indonesian skills if they've been in the country for a long time, especially outside of Bali. In Bali, it's less common, but I know there are quite a few that still have very good Indonesian. But outside of Bali, you're more forced to adapt. You've got no choice. If the pump breaks, you're going to speak to a guy who's fixing you a pump that cannot at all speak any English, not even like, no, he can't say the word no. Like, he doesn't even know anything about English. So you've got to learn. And you learn pretty quick. All the basics you learn quick. And if you put a bit of effort into it, which, you know, if you're staying long term, you know, you probably would, and most people do, you know, you get pretty good pretty quick. Okay, so this is the nasi kuning place that I was going to try out this morning, but it already closed. I'm a bit late, I think. It looks like it hasn't even opened at all today, to be honest, but it's possible that I'm also a little bit late. Now it's 8:40, yeah, it's late. I'm too late. So that's your nasi kuning. Give that a skip. I'm going to go down Jalan Tirtanadi, have a look at what snacks they've got down there. Again, early in the morning, they've got all sorts of different snacks down there that look pretty interesting. I haven't eaten this morning, so I do need a little bite to eat. All right, I've just stopped into this place. They've got all different things in the window. Little nasi campur. Yeah, cukup lah. Okay, so I'm gonna get some 3 biji. Ya, sedikit. Cukup. Terus 2 perkedel. Yeah, make a little, tiny little, yeah, udah. Cukup. Make myself a tiny little nasi campur here. Makasih, Bu. Just gonna eat here. Nasi campur is very similar to nasi kuning, but the rice is white, and you get to pick your own dishes. Whereas in nasi kuning, often, well, not always the case. You can often pick your own stuff in nasi kuning as well. Just a slightly different style, but more or less for most people, it's going to feel very similar. So all I got here was a few little bits of tempeh with some sauce on there. It's probably tomato and chili sauce, a bit of a chili, shredded chicken, ayam suwir. And we've got some mini perkedels there, so they're like a corn fritter and then a bit of rice. I mean, it's very simple, very simple. Mm. Mm. That tempeh is very good. It's quite spicy too. Quite salty, quite spicy, really nice. Really good. Oh yeah. All right, try the shredded chicken. Well, that's good too. All right, I'm starting to sweat now. It's getting hot. That's good too. All right, that was really good. Let's see how much it's gonna cost. Bu, berapa? 10, okay.
Where you come from?
Australia. Ibu asli dari mana?
Saya asli Bali.
Asli Sanur?
Asli Karangasem.
Di mana di Karangasem?
Ya, Ahmed.
Ahmed?
Ya,
Desa apa?
saya.
Ya.
Lambat.
Oh, Tulamben. Lebih ke arah ke barat, ya. Oh, udah berapa lama di sini di Sanur?
Di Sanur sudah 2 tahun.
Kenapa pindah? Lebih ada kesempatan lebih besar di sini.
Mau merantau,
Mau merantau,
Ya.
bosan. Terlalu panas di sana.
Sama panasnya sekarang.
Panas hari ini ya, Bu?
Iya. Lebih panas di Karangasem sekarang.
Kering juga ya. Nah, oke, terima kasih Bu, itu enak banget.
Terima kasih.
Oke, mari ya Bu. Oh, nearly get bowled over by the bubur guy. He does ketan hitam as well, which is that black sticky rice. But he's doing bubur kacang hijau, which is mung bean porridge. It's another sweet one actually. There's a lot of weird and wonderful foods that if you never try them or you haven't really put any effort into finding out what they are, they're pretty scary. Like I know how it feels because when I go to other countries, I feel the same way. If I see foods which are completely foreign to me, it's just a bit uncomfortable. You don't want to try it. But if you spend a bit of time getting to know some of these foods, it's really nice. I mean, most people who have visited Bali would have had the black sticky rice. I think in Bali, we call it bubur incin. But throughout Indonesia, the similar dish would just be called bubur ketan hitam, black sticky rice. That's an interesting thing as well. The word ketan, that just is a sticky rice. So there's lots of different ketan dishes in Indonesia. In tourist places, we don't really get them that much. But it is pretty popular with a range of different dishes in Indonesia. Maybe not as much as somewhere like northern Thailand, but certainly there are quite a few dishes that use it. Actually, when I think about it a little bit, ketan is often used in a lot of desserts in Indonesia. They'll also make it into things like a baked rice cake sometimes, which is pretty interesting as well. You hear that sound? The dude's got a spoon and he's banging it against the little bowl, a little mangkok. Mangkok, that means bowl. In Indonesia, a classic one would be mangkok ayam, which is a bowl with a rooster on it. You'll see those in a lot of older school places, and that's what the guy had there. He had a mangkok ayam, and he was banging his spoon against it. That's a very typical thing for a bubur seller to do. If you hear that in the streets, you know a guy's coming with his little gerobak, his little cart, and you can go out there and try whatever he's got. This one's Pukis. He's finished for the day. I'm too late. Pukis is those half moon style cakes, or like the semicircle cakes. They're a little bit risen, a bit I don't know if it's fermented, but they do rise. They're really nice as well. I've actually left my run a little bit late. That there is Lovin' Oven. That is a favourite of a lot of people who live on the west side. A little bakery. They do little snacks and coffee in there as well. It's really nice. And the lady that owns the place, she's from Java. She's such a nice lady. Definitely worth a go. The road I'm on at the moment is called Jalan Tirta Nadi. It's one of the main roads that give access to the west side. If you come to the west side, you're almost certainly going to hit this at some point because it's the one that goes down to one of the sets of traffic lights that allows access. And most vehicles that come over here obviously need to go through traffic lights to get here. And this is one of the roads that allows that access. A little bit more about this road. What it comes up to is the bypass. And at the bypass, because there are so many vehicles coming in and out of Jalan Tirta Nadi, that intersection can be quite difficult to navigate if you're on a motorbike. If you're on foot or you've got a bicycle, you've got a little bit more time to sort of try and dodge vehicles and so forth. But in a vehicle on your own, it's a bit of a nightmare because the rules get thrown out the window because there's often, it's not always the case, but often there's a big lineup of traffic. People get frustrated and they'll throw the rule book out the window and then it's just every man for himself. And sometimes you'll come head on into other vehicles. It's not totally foreign to me because I know that the rules don't always apply, but the problem is when they apply, I guess a little bit, they apply sometimes and don't apply other times. You've got to be a little bit careful because sometimes you get it wrong. And in that intersection in particular, you'll often, be cruising along, you'll be fine. And then one day, you've got a couple of drivers who might be a little bit impatient. It's people in cars usually, but a couple of drivers who are a little bit impatient and it can cause you real problems. Taking a wrong turn once again. My plan wasn't actually to come down this way, it's to go down a different way, which is a similar street. I want to go down a street called Jalan Tirta Ening. Ening. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's one of the problems in Indonesian is that the vowel E can be pronounced two ways. And if you're not really familiar with a particular word, you can often get it wrong. And in Bali especially, I find it's a lot easier to get that wrong compared to somewhere like in Java. I'm fairly familiar with how most words are pronounced, but in Bali, there seems to be a lot more sounds. And I think further east as well, I think that's pretty common in Indonesia as well, that as you get further east, the sound becomes a lot more than the sound. And like, if you haven't tuned your ear to it, that might sound quite similar, but if you're speaking the language, it's like really, really noticeable if someone's saying when they should be saying For example, the word terima kasih, it's not terima, it's not terima kasih. Hear that? Terima? It's terima. Yeah, that's really important for that word, for example. But the word for tomorrow is besok. So it's an sound, not besok, it's besok. Yesterday is kemarin, not kemarin, it's ke, it's So, I know those because I've obviously learnt the words, but if you've never pronounced the word before or heard it spoken, you can often get that wrong. And that's okay when you're first starting out. I often, if I say a new word that I don't know, or if it's a word that's specific to Bali, I'll often just guess and see what happens. Usually wrong. I'm not usually wrong on those. But I even get it wrong on words that I do know. Like, for example, there's the word for palm sugar is gula aren. Yeah? Now, how did I just say that? Well, what I did, I said it half between and half between And the reason I did that is because I often forget how it's actually supposed to be pronounced. So I just do it halfway in between and no one really knows that I got it wrong. It sounds, obviously to a native speaker it sounds wrong, but most people just go, oh yeah, it sounds good enough. But it's actually gula aren, yeah, gula aren. But when I'm sort of mid-flow, I'll often forget exactly how I should be saying it. So that's why I'll just sort of slur the word or just put a sneaky half effort in there. But that's pretty normal, when you're speaking foreign languages. All right, this is Jalan Tirta Ening. And the reason I've come down here is there's a little shop that does bagels and coffee. And I just want to check it out. It's pretty low key. I did go past it in the past on another walk not that long ago. So I just wanted to check that out. And this is what sometimes happens. If I'm just walking around the streets, just having a look around, I'll often pass something that I think is interesting, but I might not go in at that particular point because I've got other things to do. But I will often go back later to check it out. And that's what we're going to do here. It's called La Lina Cafe. Coffee, bagels, focaccia, cakes and pastry. Oh yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Look at these here, these cakes they got. I might actually get one of those. Not sure what I'll get, but maybe I'll get, oh, I don't know if it's homemade chocolate cake or chocolate mousse tart. Might just get that chocolate cake actually. Okay, okay, alright, so I got myself a big cappuccino here. I got this plus the chocolate cake, costs 81,000. The chocolate cake's 41, so I'm guessing because this is a large, I'm just assuming this is 35. Which is pretty good for a large cappuccino. I think most cappuccinos for a small cappuccino are between 30 and 35. So for a large cappuccino, 35, pretty good. And it tastes good too. It's a good cappuccino. Nice and cool in here. Like outside it's blazing hot, so it's nice to be in the air conditioning over here. Because this is just off Terra Nadi, it's another place that you can sort of zip into if you're exploring the west side for sure. It's in one of these back streets, you know. So you'll have to make an effort to come here, but definitely worth a go. Good coffee. They call this a homemade chocolate cake, and this is the first slice out of the whole big cake, so I'm assuming it's pretty fresh. And it looks fresh. Quite dense and moist as well. Diet starts tomorrow. That's good. That's really good. Yeah, definitely worth coming over here. It's not one of these big modern trendy cafes, which is what I actually prefer anyway. So besides the cakes and croissants and that sort of stuff, they do have bagels and focaccias, and they are priced around 55 to 65,000. So almost like just a little small sandwich shop, if you like. Wow, I really love that place. You know what I really love about it? It's peaceful. It's really peaceful. You know, it's all I want. I just want peace. I just want peace. You know, sometimes life just gets a bit crazy. Even like when you're in the middle of a really beautiful place, and if it's busy, I don't feel peace, you know? So that place, I really love it. I was just like hanging out there. Like I've actually been there for probably 45 minutes, like doing nothing. I just sat there and the peace was just brilliant. That being said, I know a lot of you will watch this on Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, and I hope you're having a really peaceful and quiet Sunday. Actually, I hope it's as beautiful as the weather is here. Look at this. And if you're not watching on Sunday, I hope you're having a good day as well. Hey, thanks for coming along once again on this little walk around a different part of Sanur. Oh, here's that guy again. I've walked miles and that guy's back again. The bullboarder guy. It's about to wrap it up there, but the bullboarder guy comes along. Hey, thanks for coming along for the ride today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me on the west side, the peaceful side of Sanur. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all things Sanur, the rest of Indonesia, Bali, the world. I'll catch you next time in Sampai Jumpa.